Don't wait until you feel like you're about to be murdered to leave a relationship. Apply today for my 6-month mentorship program. Space is limited. Hello, beautifuls. My name is Bo Yi, founder of IBelieveInLoveAgain.com. I am a friend and mentor for survivors of sexual abuse, codependence, and love addicts. So today's topic is pain is good when we actually listen to its signals, when we actually take them as signs to change our path, to change what it is that we are currently doing to cause ourselves pain. So yeah, because I think a lot of times we automatically think that pain is bad, we want to avoid it at all costs. However, I've been reflecting on this a bit, and I feel that we have pain for a reason. These are signs from God that they're like little nudges, like when we start to experience pain, I feel they're little nudges from God, like, hey, what you're doing is causing yourself pain. Maybe you should change your ways, change your habits, change your relationships, make a change. That's all pain really is a lot of the time. Not always, like pain isn't something you always have to try to avoid. Sometimes it's important to take time to grieve. For example, when someone has passed away, I talked about my mom passing away in the last video. And by the way, thank you so much for all your beautiful comments. I got so many comments, so many email messages from you guys. They were very touching. So I really feel your love and support. So thank you for that. But yeah, so the point of this video is pain can actually serve you. It can serve you if you actually listen to it when it comes and take it as a sign that, hey, maybe you should change your ways or whatever it is you're doing that might be causing you pain. Okay, so first I want to start with from a verse, and then after that I'm going to go into the different kinds of pain and some real life examples, and in the end I will end with one more verse. Okay, so the first verse, if you want to follow along, let's see here, Romans 8:28. Okay, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. So, in other words, let me just read that again. And we know that in all things, all things, meaning good things and bad things. Okay, so let me just say it like that. And we know that in all things, including bad things, God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. So it's kind of like that quote, how does it go? Not all things happen for a reason. It's even more positive than that. So never mind, it's not like that quote. Because all things happen for a reason. I mean, I guess it is kind of like that. But like I said, it's even more positive than that. So like here, for those who love God, right? I'm a recent lover of God. I used to not love God at all. I used to think I was a goddess and I didn't need God. But if you want to know about my testimony, you can check out my YouTube video, From New Age to Jesus. That was a big turning point in my life. Nothing I expected to happen at all, because I always disliked Christians. I disliked the whole Christianity, like religion, and I don't consider myself religious. I consider myself lover of Jesus, a follower of Jesus, because there are definitely things like I don't agree with that people do, because I try my thing. Okay, when I call myself a Christian, just so you guys know, is I love Jesus, I have a relationship with Jesus, and I believe in the Bible and try my best to follow the Bible. That's my definition of Christian. And everyone has a different definition, so it's really important to ask when you're not sure where someone is coming from. Okay, so anyways, back to this quote. So if you love God, the things in your life that seem painful will no longer be futile or meaningless which is huge. It's huge because, like, I mean, who wants a meaningless life? You know what I mean? Like, all the quote unquote bad things that happen in our past, these, according to this verse, all things, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those. So all those things in our past is actually it can be beneficial to our spiritual path, to our life. It's really quite awesome. It strengthens us, it builds resilience, endurance, more hope, more faith, not less. See, a lot of people, when bad things, quote unquote bad things, happen to them in their lives, a lot of times they'll blame God and say, oh, I can't believe God would let something like this happen to me. Or when quote unquote bad things happen to other people in the world, again, people really like to blame God, like, oh my gosh, like, how could God allow that to happen, or that catastrophe to happen? But you know, it just goes to show, I think we have freaking big egos. Like, we always want to blame everyone else, anything else but ourselves. It's like, hey, let's look at us. We're pretty messed up. We are causing ourselves all this pain, not God. But of course, you know, people like to just blame God. That's like a lot of people's go-to blame or criticism. It's just a cop-out. It's not good. It's not good. So if you find yourself doing that, you know, I recommend not doing that, and like, just blame. If you want to place the blame on man, on people, right? Because we do this to ourselves. We do this to ourselves, right? Like, my stepdad he decided to molest me, to rape me. That's not God. Just, you know what I mean? Like, he's not a God, you know, he's a man who decided to go with his fleshly desires, to sin, and to use my body, to take advantage of my body, use my body to fulfill his own fleshly desires. So the blame goes to my stepdad. The blame does not go to God. Okay, so that's a big difference. So I hope you understand what I'm saying here. Okay, another way to put it, those who love God, you know, all the things in our life, the good and the bad, all of it works for the betterment of us. None of it is meaningless. None of it's meaningless. All of it has really, really deep meaning. It's all to help us grow, to become more resilient, to become stronger, more faithful, more hopeful, and actually ultimately more loving and more compassionate towards ourselves and others. When we start to take responsibility for ourselves, you know, our actions, like how we respond to other people, that's when the magic starts to happen in our lives. Miracles start to happen, actually. So yeah. Okay, so now let me go on to the different types of pain. Okay, so I'm going to name off the categories first. So there's relational pain, right? There's pain in our relationships. There's physical pain. There's financial pain, right? Money problems, spiritual pain. Yeah, so I'm going to go through each category. I'm sure there's more categories, but these are some of the main ones that a lot of us struggle with. Okay, relational pain. Oh my gosh. So pretty much a lot of you who are watching can relate to relational pain. That's probably why you're watching, or why you're on this channel to begin with, right? Because again, my audience mainly consists of survivors, love addicts, codependents, and all of us go through lots and lots and lots of relational pain over and over again, deeper than most people. So yeah. So why is pain a good thing, right? In this context, why was it good for me? So relational pain. It took me having to get to a certain level of pain before I left my stepdad. You know, I stayed with him for a long time. I was super, super brainwashed. I looked to him as if he were my God. I didn't trust other people. He brainwashed me to think people like family, friends, or anyone besides him were bad people, and I shouldn't trust anyone but him. And so I really fell for that. It's called Stockholm Syndrome. If you haven't heard of it, look it up. It's really important to know about if you are a survivor, especially. And so my pain threshold with my stepdad was when he threatened to kill me. He had found out I finally had my first boyfriend, Daniel. I was age 19. I finally decided, you know what, I want a boyfriend. I wrote what I wanted down on a piece of paper, visualize and all this kind of stuff. And then my first boyfriend came into my life, Daniel, and my stepdad found out, and he was really, really mad. But at this time I was starting to like finally have some guts to like stand up for myself. And I told my stepdad, yeah, so I do have a boyfriend, so what? And he was so mad, and he said, if I had a gun right now, I'd shoot you and shoot myself. And then he left the house for many, many hours, and I was just really, really scared. So, I guess technically he didn't make an official threat. He didn't say, I am going to kill you. He didn't say that. What he said was, if I had a gun right now, I would kill you and kill myself. And so he said that, and I never heard him say anything like that. And I was really, really scared because he was gone for many hours. And so I was thinking to myself, gosh, I feel like my life is in jeopardy right now, because he literally could go, and maybe he's going out to get an illegal gun right now, and he's going to come back and he's going to kill me. I really was not sure what to expect from him, because I've never been in a situation where I completely disobeyed him and got a boyfriend. Like, this was like major, just a major no-no, because my stepdad wanted to marry me. He had plans for me. There was no me having a boyfriend. That was not allowed. And so I was going against him quite boldly. And so I didn't want to risk staying at home. That painful thought of getting shot, by my stepdad was enough for me to finally leave. So in that case, pain was very good. It was very good for me. And I needed that amount of pain to finally wake up and leave, just for survival's sake. And after that, as a lot of you guys know, I've been in many narcissistic relationships with men, like where I was a codependent, they were the narcissist. And so in each of those relationships, I eventually, some of them I left, some of them they broke up with me. But in the ones where I left, it just, I had to feel a certain amount of pain to justify me leaving them. Whether it was like emotional pain, verbal pain, like the verbal abuse that caused emotional pain, physical, sexual, might be the case for other people, like say domestic violence. Sometimes women, or men, men can definitely experience physical violence from women as well. Once we've had enough, it's like, okay, I'm out. So for me, it was mostly verbal and emotional pain that I experienced from a lot of my boyfriends. And, I noticed as I got healthier, as my boundaries got stronger, I would tolerate less pain, which is good. So I'm going to get to the lesson at the end. Okay. So I'm just going to keep giving examples. Okay. So another category is physical pain, right? Physical pain, basic stuff. Like say we overeat, we eat too much. Our body creates pain, like, hey, whoa, please slow down. You just ate like 3/4 of a burrito or half a burrito. You're pretty full now. I don't think you need to eat the whole thing. But, sometimes like the cravings are so strong, or the food tastes so good. It's so easy to like overeat sometimes. Or say you're going through a breakup, right? Sometimes we want to numb out that pain, and we decide to overeat. Some people choose to, turn to drugs or, other addictions and things to numb out that pain. So yeah, with the physical pain, it can be something as simple as, being too full, or like I just mentioned, like say people are being physically abused. Eventually, when they feel like they've had enough pain, then they leave, which is good. Oh, this is a good one. So at the moment, I'm healing from an ankle injury. I don't know if you can see, I have like a bandage on my leg, like an ACE bandage. It's healing nicely. But it took me not being able to walk, being in immense pain, to the point where I was like, oh my God, like I think I might need surgery. I think it's pretty bad. It was really bad. Like I had to keep this bandage on me, keep icing, and that wasn't enough. On some days that wasn't enough. The pain was really, really bad, and I was just so scared. I was like, what if I need a robot leg? What if my leg's gonna be cut off, because it's just ruined and I have a robot leg? Like, at that point, once those thoughts came into my brain, that's when I decided, okay, now I'll take better care of myself. But the thing was, I had felt pain for like the last 5 years, like off and on around my ankle, but I would ignore my pain. So that's not good, right? So I just kept tolerating more and more pain. But eventually I decided, okay, now I'm gonna take some more rest and take better care of myself, and it finally is starting to heal. Financial pain. Whew, I think a lot of us can relate to this, right? So gosh, I don't know, like just being financially irresponsible sometimes, right? Not saving one's money or not making enough money, just struggling to make ends meet. That's financial pain. But for a lot of people, like most people live, from paycheck to paycheck for most of their life, and for some reason, that's not enough pain for most people to make big changes with their financial life. And so they just keep repeating this. But for some people, like they have such financial pain, like they end up homeless or something. Then like in that point, they're like, okay, I don't want this ever to happen again. I need to get on my feet. I need to like make sure I have a really good safety net, a big savings. I need to just be more responsible. I need to start budgeting. I need to start investing. I need to grow my money. Sometimes it takes like a really drastic life event, like becoming homeless or something, to finally take finances seriously. So again, that's financial pain, right? Spiritual pain. So for me, I've mentioned this before, last winter I was attacked by demons. So for me, that was deep spiritual pain. I mean, I was like I was hearing these demons tell me like all this really negative stuff to kill myself, and I felt that pain. Like I felt completely worthless, completely helpless and hopeless. And so for me, I felt that spiritual pain real deep, like the deepest ever in my whole life. And because of, thank goodness for that pain, when I felt that pain, that's what pushed me to finally pray. After like 3 days of getting attacked by demons, like after the third day, I finally prayed to Jesus, which I'd never done in my whole life because I just didn't believe that Jesus could be of help to me. But I did, and I'm so glad I did, because that's when I felt his presence instantly. I felt instant peace, and then I became a believer. Because before I prayed to Jesus, like I pretty much like looked into all other faiths, yoga, just I prayed to Buddha, Krishna, Kuan Yin, the mother, the goddess earth, Gaia, or just myself. I just would just try to do self-affirmations and tell myself like, I'm enough to get me through anything. I'm a goddess. So I practically prayed to like all these other kinds of like deities, and even Mother Earth and whatnot. And so at this time when I was being attacked by demons, in my head, I just ran through all of that. I was like, okay, none of that worked. Like none of that worked. So what's left, right? So I thought, oh yeah, Jesus. I never actually tried to pray to Jesus before. And so when I did, and I only did because I was in enough pain to finally get humble enough to try. And I'm so glad I did, because that changed my life forever. And now I have such spiritual health now. I've never felt more spiritual in my life. I've never felt more connected to God. And he's really changing me, changing my character, helping me to see my flaws. I have a lot of flaws, and I'm working on them. And so I'm just so thankful. So yeah, that was kind of an overview of different types of pain. And so the lesson, what is a lesson, guys? What do you think is a lesson about all of this, right? So what's the point? Is the lesson, we need to feel a lot of pain before we change? Is that the lesson? Because that's what seemed to happen in my life, right? No, that is not the lesson. In case you were wondering, nope, that's not the lesson at all. What I want you guys to do is to learn from my mistakes, because in so many examples of my life, I waited till the very, very last minute before I decided to make changes. I was just so stubborn. I still can be stubborn. That's kind of my personality. I can be quite stubborn. once I'm convinced of something, like I'll just go for it all the way until I like crash on my face because it wasn't a good idea to begin with. But what I would like to, invite you to do, and myself too, this is also absolutely a lesson for me, is to pay attention right away when we feel any inkling of pain whatsoever in our life. Like, pay close attention. Pay very, very, very close attention. Like, if it's physical pain, if it's spiritual pain, if it's relational pain, financial pain, any kind of pain, just pay attention. And if it, repeats, okay, that's already a red flag. It's like, make changes right away. Because you don't have to be like me, like wait till, you get attacked by demons and whatnot to pray to Jesus. Like, you can just pray now, like pray to God now. You don't need to wait for your ankle to be like broken and stuff. Like fix your body now, like stretch now, like get your ankle checked out now. If something's wrong with it, don't wait until like you can barely move and think you need surgery. My mistake of waiting until I felt like I was going to be killed by my stepdad. Don't wait until you feel like you're about to be murdered to leave a relationship. Leave like immediately once you realize it's toxic. Leave immediately. So another lesson is to make sure you don't numb out your feelings, because guess what? Most of us do this because we don't like pain. We just don't like pain. So instead of facing our pain, trying to get to the root of it, like, hey, what's wrong? Why am I feeling all this pain? What's the cause of it? What's going on? What can I do to change it if I can, right? Instead of facing our pain and looking for the root of our pain, a lot of times we try to numb out our pain, right? So we numb out our pain with food, going to fantasy land with our minds, just daydreaming about things that aren't even real, maybe drugs, maybe alcohol. Some people have porn addiction, sex addiction, overspending, just spending frivolously, just to numb out and not think, it feels good. There's like a high, like with all of this numbing out, like all of this gives us like a high for a moment, but then it kind of numbs us out as well. And so in a way it's pleasurable, right? So all these addictions, like they make us feel really good and make us not really be in reality, and they all make us not feel our pain thoroughly. And so guess what? We keep doing the very thing that's causing us pain. We don't leave the relationship. We don't become more financially responsible. We don't take care of our bodies. We continue not to stretch, not to exercise, we continue to be very egoistic and not turn to God for help and support. We don't turn to faith. Instead, we turn to, just self-help stuff, which in itself is not all the way bad. But if we don't give the glory to God, if we don't lean onto God, then it's not good. It's not good. We're going to fall. Definitely going to fall. So that's the other lesson, to try your best, for me to try my best not to numb out when we do feel pain, to just try to just be real, like be real with ourselves, be completely honest, like, hey, what's going on? Oh, okay. All right, I see what I'm doing. I am eating a whole thing of ice cream because I just had a breakup. It doesn't feel good. That's what I'm doing. Ooh, my stomach hurts. Wow, it really, really hurts. Okay, do I want to keep doing this? Is it worth it? Like, I'm already hurt because of this relationship that ended. Like, do I want to cause myself more pain? Like, just talk to yourself. Like, if you have to talk out loud, do that. Even if you sound crazy, just like get your honest thoughts out there. Journaling is great, a great tool. I do that a lot. And a lot of times when I write things out, like, it's just so helpful. I can really see what I'm going through, over and over in my mind. And when I see it, I can see the lessons I need to learn, or like the different actions I need to take, or I can see the things I'm doing well in or not doing well in. It's just really nice to journal or to talk out loud. Sometimes, like when I'm driving and I feel like, oh, I need to process something, but I don't have time to really journal, I'll put my voice recorder on, like on my phone, And then I just record myself, like verbally journaling, voice journaling, I guess. And then I'll say whatever I need to say, like just verbally vomit and just say everything that is coming to me about a situation. And then I play it back. I play back that journal entry to me so I can hear it. And then when I hear myself speak, I realize all the things I really need to realize. So, it's just good to reflect and good to be honest with yourself. Yeah, so those are the lessons. Pay attention right away when you feel pain. Pay attention. Those are red flags that something probably in your life has to change, or you have to change. Your actions, your habits have to change, or you have to distance yourself from certain people. And the second thing is to not numb out your pain. Just try your very best not to numb it out and just face it head on and see. Because if I had done that in all these different relationships, guess what? I would have left my stepdad a lot sooner. I would have left all those toxic boyfriends a lot sooner. I probably wouldn't have even dated them. I would have just taken one look at them, or just kind of been able to read who they, are, and just not have even given them my phone number. I would have been able to avoid a lot of pain. With the ankle injury, like it didn't have to come to this point with me on crutches. The pain started like 5-6 years ago, like a long time ago. I would feel quite a bit of pain during the winter months. And it would just come and go, but I didn't really address it then. Like I should have started getting the massages. I should have had it looked at. I should have tried to find out why I was having pain in my ankle. Like where was it coming from? And now I know where it's coming from. I have really imbalanced muscles. Like my left thigh muscles like turn in, they kind of invert, and then my right thigh muscles like rotate externally more. So I'm really uneven. And so over time, my left thigh being so like inverted kind of it twisted all the way down to my ankle. And so now this ankle pain. So now I'm fixing it by manually working on externally rotating my left thigh. So it's starting to match it with my right. And it's going to take a while. It's going to take a lot of time, but I have to do that. I have to keep icing. I have to keep it elevated. I have to keep using my crutches. I just have to do all the things that I wouldn't have had to do 5 years ago if I had addressed my pain then, because I had lots of pain then, but I ignored it. Financial pain, right? Like so many years, I just never took money seriously. Like, in fact, I had a lot of mental blockages, a lot of money blockages. I thought, oh gosh, having lots of money is so unspiritual. Like, in fact, there was one point in my life where I wanted to go money free and just forget about money altogether and just like find a way to like live sustainably with the earth and have zero money and not deal with people on that level and just do like barters or exchanges. But that wasn't, it's like, Bo Yi, just get rid of your freaking money block, and like make some freaking money, save your money, invest your money, let it grow. Just work with what is in place right now while the system is, being changed. It's all good. Like, it's all good. Money is just a tool, but I had all these, mental blocks with money, and I really sabotaged myself. But I had pain with money for so many years. I remember when I was a yoga teacher, like in the very beginning when I started teaching yoga, back in like 2011, I had such a problem accepting money, so I would just make all my classes free. And guess what? I was always broke. I had no money. In fact, I remember several times I had to find quarters in my little coin thing in my car to get enough gas to go drive to my yoga, the yoga studio I was teaching at, teach the class, make no money because it's free, go back home and repeat the process every week. Look for more quarters. But that wasn't enough pain for me, apparently, to make big changes, like to really become more responsible with money. Like, I only recently am I becoming more responsible with money, but it took me a really long time to get here. I really needed more pain, I guess. And then I told you like this, what happened spiritually with me, so there were like signs with all these categories, like way back when, like many, many years ago. Lots of signs, lots of pain. So what I want to leave with is just don't be like me. Don't wait so long. Don't wait so long. It's time to grow up, be mature, which doesn't mean you can't still have fun and be a kid at heart. You can totally keep that alive and have lots of fun, sing and dance all day long, but at the same time, you still have to be responsible as an adult, or if you're like even a younger adult, or like, I don't know exactly my demographic. I think you guys are mostly like around 25 to 45. And from what I've seen in my demographics, and, of course I have some people younger and then some people older, but most of you guys are young adults who are watching my videos. So it's very important to be responsible, okay? I feel like I'm talking like a mother right now, but yeah, very important. Okay, so I want to just end with this quote here. If you want to follow along, this is 1 Corinthians 10:13, and I'm reading the NIV version. Let's go down here. Okay. No temptation has overtaken you except what is common to mankind. And God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, He will also provide a way out so that you can endure it. So I just want to leave you with a positive message to not, because a lot of us survivors, love addicts, and codependents can be very hard on ourselves, right? Like everything I'm saying, you might be like, oh man, I can relate to that, but yeah, I can relate to that, I can relate to that. Okay, that and that's good, because I'm letting you know like the things you can do to help yourself. But I know how we think. A lot of times we might think, oh gosh, it's too late, or like, oh gosh, I've caused myself so much pain, I'm a horrible person, terrible person. And then we guilt trip ourselves, we feel more shame and whatnot. Don't do that either. Wherever you are is where you are, okay? It's just where you are right now. If you're in tons of pain in some of these categories, that's where you are. But the point is, God's never going to give you more than you can handle. So even if you've gotten yourself in a really big mess, or you deciding to interact with other people who are really toxic has gotten you into a really big mess, don't waste too much time feeling bad about that. It's like, okay, you are where you are now. And now just realize God's never going to give you more than you can handle. And so be thankful for that. Realize you're strong enough to make the changes to heal from all the wounds that you have right now with God. With God, anything is possible. Full recovery is possible. Full healing is possible. I really, really believe that. And yeah, you can have a brand new life. And, as you heal and recover, the past is going to feel like just something way back there. Like it's going to be so fuzzy and so distant. It's not going to even touch you anymore. It's not going to touch your present life and your future. So that's what I want for you guys. I love you all. Take care. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to join me and other survivors on a Google Hangout, just go to patreon.com/Boyi, not Taraja. And yeah, so that's it. All right. Take care, everyone. I'll talk with you soon. Bye-bye. Mwah.
Have you come to the end of yourself? Do you thirst for a drink from the well? Jesus is calling.